Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Samantha. So for today's video, I'm doing something a little different, a little out of my comfort zone. Yeah, this is quite uncomfortable for me. So if there are times when you just find me waffling or like I'm not really speaking clearly, then you know why. So obviously you've seen the title of the video and the thumbnail, and I never ever would have thought that I would be speaking about this right now. Yeah, I'm pretty nervous, but yeah, just please bear with me. I'm not too comfortable with speaking to the camera just yet, especially about this topic, but yeah, like I said, please just bear with me. Okay, let's just get straight into it, I guess. Okay, so when I was 9, I got my first period, and I know you're thinking like, wow, like 9. I was pretty young when I had my first period, and so that kind of started the whole, like my hormones were going crazy, like at the age of 9. Yeah, so I started getting like hormonal, basically. And then when I was about 10, I started to get acne on my forehead. So it's just all over my forehead. I would have maybe about like 10 pimples at a time on my forehead. Ranging from like 10 to 20 pimples on my forehead. They weren't like big cystic, like painful ones. They were more like small, like whiteheads. But yeah, obviously I was confused. I was like, you know, I'm 10, you know, why have I got spots on my face? I was just really confused. Obviously, like when you're at that age, when you're 10, you're still a kid. Like you're still not thinking about your appearance. You're still not thinking about, oh, how other people are seeing me or how I look to other people. I was just a youthful child. So yeah, I had acne on my forehead, but I never really thought anything of it. Like I didn't really care that much. Like I wasn't like, oh my gosh, like I have a spot, like I have a new spot. Like I wasn't like that. I was just like, okay, I've got acne on my forehead. Okay then, like, you know, not everyone has it, but you know, it's whatever. Like I never thought anything of it. I was in primary school at the time. I believe I was in year 5 or year 6. I'm not sure. And I just remember sometimes people would come up to me and they would ask me like, oh, what's that on your forehead? Like, you know, do you have some sort of disease, or like, you know, is it contagious, or do you have chicken pox? Like I would just get all sorts of questions and I wouldn't know what to say. Obviously I was like a child, I wasn't educated about what acne was. All I knew was, okay, yeah, I've got spots, and that's it. Like I just never really knew what to say to people. And at the time, like I never really took it as, oh, I'm being bullied. Like I'm sure there was like no malicious intent behind them asking me like, what is that? Because obviously at that age, you know, people are just curious. They just want to know, like, you know, what is that? So I never really took it in like a harsh way. I was a bit upset. Obviously sometimes I would be a bit embarrassed to show my face and stuff, but it didn't upset me that much. Like I was still like, okay, like if you were to ask me if I was happy, I was happy. Like I was a kid and I just wanted to play in the playground and just, yeah. So as the months went on, my acne just got worse, and then the bullying got worse. And like rather than people asking me, you know, in a concerned way, like, you know, what is that on your head, they would sort of do it in a way that kind of made me feel as though there was something wrong with me, and like people wouldn't want to come near me anymore because they just thought that, you know, I had some sort of infectious disease, or they just thought that I was not cool because I had like pimples on my face. And yeah, that's sort of when I started to feel sad, when my own friends like kind of abandoned me because I had acne. And I was just so confused. Obviously, like I said, like I was a child, I didn't know what was going on, like, and I would just think like, why am I the only one that has this? Like everyone else is still youthful. Like I had boobs when I was 10. Like at that age you don't really want boobs, do you know what I mean? Like you just want to be able to run and not have to like worry about your boobs like flying around. And yeah, so I started to feel self-conscious about myself, and I sometimes would find myself like always having my head down, or I'd be hiding behind my hair, and I would just avoid like speaking to anyone because I just didn't want them to see my acne. So I remember one night I asked my mum to cut me a fringe, and so she cut me like a full fringe because I was just so embarrassed like to show my face to anyone. So I had a fringe, and then it just made it 10 times worse. So my acne was just getting worse and worse and worse, and the more I hid behind my hair, the more my acne developed more on my cheeks. And obviously because your hair carries a lot of bacteria, having all that hair over your face will only worsen the acne. So yeah, my acne was just getting worse and worse and worse. It was all over my forehead, all over my cheeks, all over my chin. And then I've developed it on my chest, on my back. Like, it was really, really bad. And I remember just coming home from school and looking at myself and just thinking, like, why do I look like this? Like, why, out of all people, did God choose me to have to struggle with this? And my mum would always tell me, like, acne is normal, like both of your brothers have acne, you know, your dad had acne when he was younger, like it's perfectly normal, like in our family for you to have acne. And I said, okay, but I'm so young, like am I meant to have acne at this age? I was just so confused. And my mum started to realize like how upset I was getting about my skin and like about my appearance. So she was just like, do you want to book an appointment for the GP? Maybe the GP can help you, maybe give you some topical treatments and stuff like that. So yeah, at the age of 11, I'd say that's when I booked my first GP appointment. So the GP looked at my face and would prescribe me like different things such as like epiduo, Duac. I'm not too sure like the names of them, but yeah, he would prescribe me like some topical treatments, and he also prescribed me like some antibiotics that are like known to help with acne. So for example, like trimethoprim, I believe it's actually for like UTIs, but yeah, apparently that helps with acne. So yeah, just so many things were prescribed to me, and I would use them for months and months hoping that they would help, and nothing helped. So then I went back to the GP and my mum was just like, you know what, none of these are helping. Can you just refer her to a dermatologist? So he referred me to a dermatologist. I got my appointment within like a month. It took quite a while because it was with the NHS, and if you guys don't know about the NHS, it is free healthcare in the UK. And so the waiting times are a bit longer than if you were to go private. And at my first appointment, he looked at my face and he was like, yep, like this is severe acne. I would recommend you to go on Accutane. So I went on my first course of Accutane. I believe I was 12 years old. I went on it for 6 months. If you guys don't know what Accutane is, it is a very strong form of vitamin A. And what it does is it stops the oil production in your skin, and it also helps your skin to renew itself a lot faster. So Accutane, also known as isotretinoin, is what dermatologists prescribe to people with severe acne. So the dermatologist prescribed this to me, and within 6 months my acne was completely gone. I don't want to talk too much about like the ins and outs of Accutane. So if you guys want to research it, then by all means do your own research about it. There's so much information online about it. So Accutane is a very, very strong drug, and you need to be really closely monitored whilst you're taking this because it can be very harmful to your body. I had to go for checkups every month at the dermatologist. I had to have blood tests done. I had to have pregnancy tests done. I know you're thinking like, why would I have pregnancy tests? I was 12. But I did have to have pregnancy tests done because whilst you're taking Accutane, you cannot get pregnant because it can cause deformities in an unborn child. So they had to make sure, like proper make sure that I was not sexually active, and I had to take pregnancy tests just in case I was lying or something. So the side effects that I had got whilst I was taking Accutane, I just had really, really, really dry lips, like really, really, really dry, to the point where like in the morning, if I moved my mouth, like my lips would tear because it was so chapped and so dry. And yeah, they would just be bleeding. But apart from that, that's the only side effects that I got, luckily. And yeah, so I took that for 6 months and my acne went away completely. I would maybe get like the occasional 1 or 2 pimples, but that was it. And yeah, I was happy. I had just started secondary school, my skin was clear, I was happy, I was confident. And I was just like a regular kid again, basically. And then unfortunately, that didn't last too long and my acne came back with a vengeance. It was very, very, very angry when it came back. So it came back on my cheeks, on my forehead, on my chin, underneath my jawline, my chest, my back. Sometimes I would get acne like on my ass, like, yeah. It was very angry. And that's just pretty much when I just began to feel very, very, very sad. And so I'd say from the age of like 13 to 20, I was extremely, extremely unhappy with how I looked. and I would find myself not wanting to look at myself in the mirror because I was just so ashamed. I was so disgusted, and I just felt really down, like, and I would find myself comparing myself to like so many girls who had clear skin, blemish free, like no pimples at all, no scars. And I was just always so jealous. Like, I was just like, why am I going through this? Like, what did I do that was so bad that God had to punish me with this kind of skin? Like, sometimes like I would find myself crying at night because of how much I hated how I looked, hated myself. And I know I'm going to be laughing at myself while I edit this, but it was just so many years of me just not being able to go outside without any makeup. I always had to have layers and layers of full coverage foundation, and I couldn't leave my house without it. To go to church, like to go to the supermarket, like to go to the post office, like I just always had to cover my face. I always had to have this mask on my face. It was especially hard because those were the times where social media was sort of rising, and so that was when Instagram started, it was when YouTube started. And I just remember comparing myself to just these gorgeous girls who had flawless skin. I just remember crying, like just always crying. So when I was 21, my acne was still extremely bad. I went back to the dermatologist and he prescribed me Accutane again. And I was so happy because I remember the last time I went on Accutane, my acne had completely gone. So hopefully now that I'm 21, you know, my hormones aren't as crazy as it was when I was like 12, 13. Hopefully hopefully it will clear my skin and it won't come back ever again. So I did another 6-month course of Accutane. So I had my monthly checkups, my blood test, my pregnancy test, and everything went fine. I just experienced the dry lips again. Apart from that, that's the only side effects that I had. And then within 6 months, my skin was clear. Yeah, I still get the occasional like breakout, like for example, like here, like I have a breakout here. Like I'll break out like, you know, just randomly on my face. Struggling with acne for 10+ years really took a toll like on my happiness. And to be honest, like I really regret it. I really regret how much I cared about how I looked. I really regret like how much I cared about other people's opinions on me. Because now that I look back on it, acne is not the end of the world. I actually want to apologize to everyone who is struggling with acne right now. I want to apologize that I didn't do this video sooner, because acne is nothing to be ashamed of. Acne is completely normal. It does not mean that you're different. It doesn't mean that you're unusual. It doesn't mean that you're out of the ordinary. Like, so many people in this world struggle with acne, and I feel like not enough people speak about it because they're embarrassed. And I really allowed that unhappiness to take control of me. There's so many people that struggle with acne, and I really think that people need to speak about it more, because when I was younger, when I was going through this, I just thought like I'm an alien, and it's not the case at all. And please do not think that you are alone. I know it's so easy for people to just say, oh, you know, it's just acne, it's just a few pimples, like, you know, it's not going to kill you. But I know how much it can take a toll on your self-esteem, and I know how much it can hurt you to not be happy with how you look. But please just remember that acne does not define you. I know we live in this era where like everyone's trying to have perfect skin, and you know, everyone cares about, oh, you know, this glowing skin and flawless skin, glass skin. And I know and I understand how hard it is to live in a world where everyone is so worried about how they look. And if you are struggling with acne and you are finding it hard to, you know, believe that you are beautiful, please do not be afraid to message me. It's just, I really want to speak to you guys, and I want to let you guys know that you are not alone. I understand what you're going through. Like, seriously guys, if you have acne, it does not matter What matters is what is inside, how happy you are with yourself, how happy you are with your personality, how happy you are with the way that you treat other people. That's really what matters, not, oh, if I have some blemishes on my face. None of that matters. I really wanted to say a lot more in this video. In my head, I had imagined that I was going to say a lot more things, but sorry, I'm just really nervous. Like, this is my first time ever speaking about my acne. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I know this video is a bit more serious and intimate than my other videos, so if you guys are still here, then thank you guys for sticking with me throughout the video. If you do decide that you want to go ahead and take Accutane too, please make sure that you were prescribed Accutane by a professional. It's a very strong drug, so if you are not closely monitored by a medical professional, it can be very harmful to your body. So please make sure that you do it properly. You go to the dermatologist, you go to your doctor, and you ask them to prescribe it to you if it is applicable to you, because yeah, like I said, it is very strong. And there have been a few cases of some people going through depression while they take Accutane, so please make sure that you consult with someone professionally before you go through with it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.